Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll call the December 15th meeting of the Common Council meeting to order.
Councilor Olson?
Here.
Councilor Fennessy?
Here.
Councilor Bender?
Here.
Councilor Sweeney?
Here.
Councilor McDonald?
Here.
Councilor Garfield?
Here.
Councilor Finsland?
Here.
Councilor Herrick?
Here.
Councilor Dennis Dahlbeck is excused. Councilor Esther Dahlbeck?
Here.
Item number 4 is approval of the December 1st regular council meeting minutes.
Second.
Read a motion and second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Before we begin, I'd like to wish everyone, Lois and I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and a healthy and a very prosperous New Year.
I'm just going to throw out a reminder, too, that there will not be a first meeting in January. Yeah, it'll be the third week in January. Item 7.1, Assistant Finance Director Bronson is submitting the 2000... Oh, I'm sorry. How about...
See, you got off track.
I did get off track. Approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
For the motion and second, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Okay, now 7.1, Assistant Finance Director Bronson is submitting the 2016 library budget.
Move to approve. Second.
For the motion and second, discussion?
Please.
Counselor?
Somebody put my microphone out of operation, so
Gee, I wonder why, Jack.
I do have a few questions. The first one has to do with the income. Who's going to, Chris, are you going to answer these?
No, Sue's here to.
Sue's going to answer them? Okay. The first one is, and I may know the reason, but it showed there was some interest, and there was nothing for the year so far. Do we just get it once a year, at the end of the year? Okay, I thought that, but I had to find out. And then the next two items are, I don't know, they're donations and then other income. And they go from 68,000 down to 30 for this year, and then they get flip-flopped on the other item. Is that accurate, or is that?
It's reclassification of something that isn't truly a donation. It's a payment we get from the library system. And last year it was put in donations. But this year we've reclassified it to other miscellaneous income.
I noticed that would just look like it was flip-flop, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't perhaps sleep well if I didn't ask that question.
She'll get you a book to put you to sleep, Jack.
Okay. And then, I don't know if these items, I add them up and I look down, and it's nothing to do with multiplication, or addition, but the item where it says professional service data processing, what is that figure for the year, for this 2016?
I'll let Chris answer that, I think.
That's allocation from the Information Services Department, Dan Shea's department, for the support that he provides at the library.
Okay. And then right above that, it says professional services audit.
Yeah, that's a small allocation for our annual audit.
Oh, okay. You just take a little bit of it, okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I've got. Thank you.
Counselor Sweeney, I think Chris will have to answer your interest question, too. That's something that gets charged back from the city, and I don't exactly know how that number comes.
Well, I figured it was a one-year entry. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Finance Director Vito is submitting the 2016 Information Services budget.
What is the pleasure?
Motion to approve.
So motion and second. Counselor Sweeney.
Gene, I just have a question on that employment practices. Not the amount at all, but, well, the amount is what it is. Does that cover legal fee? Who, if we do have something, are legal fees into that policy?
Are you on 7.3 is for the liability insurance?
Yes, I am.
Oh, we're not quite there yet.
Okay, I thought we were going to put all in one, but okay.
Oh, we could.
No, that's
Whatever
fine,
you like.
that's fine.
You want me to answer that now, or
No,
I don't know
that's
if you want
fine.
to do them separate?
But I
Okay.
do have a
Okay.
question on that one,
Let's
too.
see, let me find that one. Employment practices, you said?
Right.
Okay. I think what that covers is, well, can you ask me that question again?
Does it cover legal fees? Many times you can go through a whole process for a lot of legal fees, and you're not, and somebody ends up with.
No,
Okay.
that wouldn't cover, we will have our legal fees up to our deductible,
Okay.
so that's separately paid for, but it wouldn't come out
It
of
is
this
separately.
insurance.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this is strictly for if we were to lose a case.
correct, yes.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you. But if we wanted 7.2, I have a question there, too. I hope that when we hire this consultant, back on the back page, that we vet that consultant a little more thoroughly than the last time.
Oh, well, they're
I know.
totally separate. And
It's apples and oranges,
Yeah.
but nonetheless,
Yeah.
I think we should, okay?
I hear you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on 7.2? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
7.3 is the 2016 liability insurance budget.
Move for approval.
Second.
For motion, motion and second. Discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
7.4 is the 2016 Economic Development Fund budget.
What is the pleasure? For the motion and second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
7.5 is the 2015 budget adjustment request to the general fund.
What is the pleasure?
Second.
For the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
7.6 is the Design Elemental Contract Extension Amendment 2 through December 31st, 2016.
What is the pleasure? Motion approved. For the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
7.6A is the contract for internal, that should be auditing, not auction, addition services with Thomas Anderson for 2016.
Motion to approve.
For the motion and second. Counselor Sweeney?
This appears in a couple others, but how, I know the dollar amount that we have set forth on a monthly basis. And I also would think that maybe we don't want to assign hours to this, okay? Okay, but how did we arrive at that? If we did not assign hours per month, how did we arrive at that figure?
We, back when we first had a contract with Tom, we had to bring it back and revise it because of some insurance issues that he was having to pay for. When we had, I think, started at $75 an hour, we moved it to $80 to help cover that because it was like a $3,000 expense for him. And then we pretty much had a line item budgeted, and I think it might have started at $30,000, and we just backed into the number of hours that could get for us. And then had Tom prioritize with guidance from us on the areas that we wanted him to look at first.
Sure. Okay, but that's a figure, I was looking for a dollar figure per hour, and roughly that's what we were talking about, even though we're backing in.
I apologize, I didn't put that in here.
No, I didn't see it, I'm not saying it wasn't, but,
Yeah, it's, if you prefer to hold on this until January.
No,
can get
I don't
that.
have to hold it.
think
I
it's
just
like
like to-
30,000.
I want to know how you arrived at the numbers. And I like a little more information. It should be in there saying
Sure.
what the, if it's an hourly rate,
Yeah, I agree. I missed getting that in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Could we add that then to it?
Should we bring this back in January and I can add that in there?
Sure.
Okay.
So, the motion is to refer.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Item 7.7, I'm submitting appointment of election officials to the 2016-2017 election cycle.
Second.
The motion and second. All in favor?
Same thing in there.
Carried.
7.8, Planning and Port Director Cirque is submitting amendment to the Facility Business Management Agreement between Jim Caesar of JCC Services and the City of Superior and Douglas County.
It is a pleasure. The motion and second to approve. Counselor McDonald?
Yeah, I just have a question for you, Jason. Since the the Development Association Board distanced themselves from the Business Center, and now that Jim is the Development Association executive director of it, doesn't that kind of, I think he should have removed himself from the position as far as how can your board distance themselves and the director not? So that's kind of an odd thing here. I thought for sure he would fill his contract, which he is, and then I thought that we would most likely be putting somebody else in that position since he's got quite the position now. I'm just kind of curious to how that works with his board, unless his board is willing to.
His board, when we discussed, the hiring process with him, that was one thing he wanted to do was keep this position, and Bill was fine with that, as well as his board, as well as some of his work that he does for the magazine as well. So,
Well,
it's a good question. I think it just from a smoothness of transition, I think it's probably one of our better moves. But I understand your position, and it is kind of there is a relationship there, yes.
Well, my thing then, if the board is willing to be back involved, then they should take on management, and the city should not have to be paying then. If the board is going to approve to be back involved, then wouldn't we not have to be couldn't they be managing it again like before? I mean, it's a lot of ifs here.
Yeah, it is, and and I think one thing that it adds to for us is it's adding money back into the building. If you can remember, the Development Association was taking about $50,000 in total for the management of it the first time. They don't want any part of it, from what I understand. It's something we can ask. But I think that, kind of going forward with this, the other thing that's kind of coming into play here is that in August of 16, we have to make a decision on what we want to do with this building.
We should sell it if we can.
And so we're in the process of looking at that too with the county to do that. So I think, Denise, from a transitional standpoint, I think it's just it's just a smoother transition for us. It allows us to build up our reserves. And I think, quite frankly, I don't think the Development Association would want any part of it, to tell you the truth.
But I know they wouldn't, because didn't they owe us money too that we had talked about? That if they did get back involved, and they could take their proceeds and be paying us back.
There are some of those discussions that we still need to have
Yeah,
as well.
so I have a lot of questions on this one, but thank you for your answers.
Counselor Sweeney?
I have the same question as before. I know the monthly rate there, okay, that we're going to pay him. But how did you come up, same question, how did you arrive at that dollar figure?
We negotiated, we looked at other similar contracts that we have, that we do.
Okay. Well, then, without getting to the bottom line, I could say, well, what did the other contracts have? But how did you arrive at that? Is it, somehow you have to come up with hours worked or something?
Well, essentially, Jim put hours to it and presented us a contract, or presented us a proposal. And so we approved that proposal at the last meeting.
So there are no direct hours?
I would say that Jim probably spends, I know he spends every day there. He's probably there for an hour to 2 hours a day.
Okay.
is what I'm estimating.
I think in the future, it's, whether you equate it to, whether you back into it or not, it's important to have, at least when we can look at that and say, well, he spent 2 times 5 at 10 hours a week, okay?
Yeah. And I could certainly have, I don't have him do that, but I could certainly have him turn that in if that's something we could.
Well, it
we'd
makes
look
it
at.
easier, at least for me, to look
No,
at.
understood.
Okay, thank you.
I think we have to remember that Jim Caesar for the Development Association is a contractor, basically. Yeah. The Development Association changed it and hired him under a contract. And so I think he's free to do other contracts to the same point. I don't think it's a conflict of interest with the board. You know, I think the board sees this as a good thing, but I don't think the board is tied to this decision whatsoever. So it's just something that, you know, I think Jim's done a good job, and I think.
But he's being paid both by the city and the county, and again by the city for the, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, thank you.
Councilor Olson.
Jason, is this anything that went out to the public, or are we just looking at status quo and renewing a contract?
It did not go out to the public, status quo.
Can you tell me why?
I think it's as smooth as a transition, Counselor. Again, it's something that, you know, I guess what I'm presenting is that he's done a good job. We've got our revenues up. We're trying to build those reserves back up, and he's done a nice job. The folks like him down there. He knows them all. He knows every inch of that building. I think those are the reasons why renewing his contract is prudent.
Thank you.
Councilor Sweeney.
I think I asked this question last year. In fact, I know I did. If a person is an independent contractor, okay, and they only work for the city, okay, there are, I think, with the IRS, there are 17 rules you must complete to become an independent contractor. Are we liable at all for someone to come back to us and say, you know, he's an employee, he's not an independent contractor, because all he does, he doesn't put out a shingle, he doesn't have an office, he works exclusively when he works only for the city or only for ABC Company. Are we liable for any point for that, Gene?
I guess I would refer that question to HR. I know Cammie has brought up talk of independent contractors at some point in the past, but she'd be way more familiar with all of the 17 criteria than I am.
Well, and Counselor, I know he carries his own insurance. He also has his own separate business insurance as well, you know, in his own office.
Okay.
And so I do know he does that, if that answered some of your question.
Sure. I'll check with HR then. Thank you.
Councilor Sweeney, I was in the galley because I was a little bit late, but I couldn't recite all of the tests from the IRS, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and I've done those analyses before when it comes to trying to appreciate the difference between an independent contractor and an employee. And when one it's most often the employee or the independent contractor moving into employee status than the other way around. And in my opinion, again, not having the test in front of me, this wouldn't be very close. Mr. Caesar is an independent contractor. There's not much, if anything, about his daily work that we immediately supervise. We don't require, for example, him manning a particular space at a particular time during certain days of the week. From a benefits standpoint, there's certainly nothing there that would link us or that would look like a typical city employee-employer relationship. So I would have every confidence, again, with the disclaimer that I don't have the test in front of me, that Mr. Caesar would very much.
The suggestion was only him.
Sure.
Okay. I was suggesting the other ones that I just want to know the answer to that. If they're not, if you've checked it before and whoever it is isn't, then that's fine. Okay. But I think we should be prudent and check those out, especially if somebody does exclusive work for one entity. It's pretty hard to say they're an independent contractor. It would seem to me, but I may be totally wrong.
It comes up. We don't like. We like our lines clear, not blurred. And we expect our contractors to be contractors and our employees to be employees. So, yeah, we definitely do track those things pretty aggressively.
Any further discussion? Counselor Olson?
It seems to me here that we've got about 3 or 4 questions that haven't been answered, and with Jason willing to get information to answer them, I would ask that the motioner and the seconder ask you to amend your motion to table this until we get that information. Or would we refer, Frog?
Refers what you would want to do if you want to go get more information. Yeah.
Okay, so where do I want to refer to Planning Commission? Okay, make a motion to refer to the Plan Department.
Second.
A motion and second to refer to planning for report back. All in favor signify by saying, Counselor Fennessy?
I guess I'm a little confused on, are we just singling out this item, or do we have to go back and change our decision on Tom Anderson? Or any of the other ones that we've approved before? Because it's kind of the same thing. Am I...
My motion is for this issue.
Well, I guess I asked for clarification why this issue and none of the other contract employees or contracts that we've approved in the past.
I guess at this point, because the other motions have been passed tonight's meeting.
I just, to me, that's wrong. We just got done approving a very similar contract with another individual, and you weren't concerned about that. Now you're concerned about this one. So I guess I just like a little bit more explanation of why. You don't have any more? Okay.
I do. We're dealing with the board and a person who is the head of the board now. It's a little different. It's a little bit different.
Well, then that should be recited in the
right.
the explanation of why we're doing it, singling out this one.
So motion and second to refer back to the Planning Department for report back. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item 7.9, Public Works Director Janigo is recommending a 1-year extension with WLSSD for household hazardous waste collection and drop-off.
For the motion in multiple seconds, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Item 10.1 is a resolution of the City of Superior referring the proposed amendment to the project plan for tax incremental District Number 13 to the Plan Commission and appointing Jason Cirque as the city representative to the Joint Review Board.
For the motion and second to approve, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
11.1 is an ordinance amending the traffic code, disabled parking zones by adding 1201 North 21st Street.
You've heard the motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
11.2 is the ordinance amending the traffic code, no parking between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. by adding west side of Clough Avenue between Broadway south to the alley.
For the motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Any further business coming before this body? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.